I listened to Froning talk on the Sevon podcast about
when you were younger. What would be some of the dumbest things you would do? Like,
we were notorious on no warm up whatsoever. Now I can't even think about not hitting some type of machine.
you have snatched 300 pounds 3 times in your life.
The first time I snatched 300 was in like 2013, maybe 10 years ago. And then I think I hit it at the Invitational, one of the Invitationals.
Easy. Yeah.
300 for Rich Froning is going up. Are you not entertained, Santa?
Never in a competition setting.
Rich Froning at 305.
And then I hit it in the liftoff, which was like 306. And then I've not even tried to get anything close to that. Yeah, those days are few and far between for me. I think the question that he started with was, do you think you'll ever PR again? And I said, not on a lift.
300 pounds is in the picture again. 31 years old. Yo, it's my last day in Florida, and then I'll finally be back in the garage. Did you like that video yesterday? Did you get to the end of that video yesterday? Does it work both ways? I don't think that it works both ways. This is going to be our TRT Tuesday video, but it's going to be done on a Sunday. Through the interactions with the people that I've had, a little bit of JR, a little bit of Mackenzie, I find out that maybe I should talk about this stuff with a little bit more frequency. And then I was also pitched the idea that I should discuss what I've been doing as far as my diet is concerned. And then I've also got a weightlifting and a physique update, which I'll start with the physique update so that it's right in the beginning, which I guess can also parallel the diet. It's not freaking great when I'm in Illinois. I don't know what it is, and while it's not great, and I've also spoken on ends about the lack of training that I do, so let's just say I do 3 to 4 sessions a week. With those 3 to 4 sessions, there are 45 minutes to maybe an hour and 15 on average, and that is nothing compared to the time in which I was a high-level CrossFitter. Parallel that with the amount of sitting that I do putting together videos like these, it's a lot of time. And in the past, when I was also doing the 12 to 14 sessions a week, I would also be coaching at the affiliate, so that's time spent on your feet. So on one side where you've got me sitting around all day making videos, editing videos with my heart rate from 60 to 80 beats per minute depending on how many energy drinks I've had that day. Back then, when you're just wandering around, you're maybe 80 to 110 beats a minute depending on what you're doing, how strenuously you're coaching, if you're demoing something. Stretch that out day after day, week after week, month after month. It's a big deal when it comes to calorie expenditure. So when I bring this all back full circle into my diet, it's never been great. It's actually pretty nuts how hard of a time I was giving CrossFit for the Chipotle bit, because I would eat more Chipotle than anybody. As a mid-20s something person with not the highest level of income, you couldn't beat double rice, 1 meat, whole bunch of freaking cheese and sour cream and stuff, and you just needed the calories. Present day, because I'm not on my feet all day, I'm not exercising 12 to 14 times a week, it's more like 3 to 4 days a week. I just eat less. I eat way less. And do I eat better? It's very similar, that diet. Does it consist of Chipotle? So weird. And it can't be a coincidence that I have not had Chipotle since I made that video on it. I haven't done it. I don't know if it's that I can't bring myself to it or I haven't even thought about going there, but I have avoided it. I don't know if that means that I'm going to avoid it forever, but I haven't had it, and I used to have it, I don't know, 4 to 7 times a week. Back when I was training at least, and definitely 2 or 3 times a week, all the way up until the point in time which I made that video. It's nuts. With that, I was a wrestler, and as a wrestler, I really figured out what calories meant. How many calories were in things? What a freaking gram of protein meant. Oh, it's 4 calories per gram of protein, and 9 calories per gram of fat, and 4 calories per gram of carbohydrate. How many of these can you have? How many of those do you need? Oh, you're a 200-pound male, have 200 grams of protein. But back then it was, you were a 140-pound male, have 140 grams of protein. Oh, you're 20 pounds overweight, just don't eat anything at all. It's actually a conversation that I had with JR. We were walking around a grocery store and we walked past some Special K, and I was like, that was my meal for a week. And he went, what do you mean? I go, I would eat way too much, I'd eat way too far overweight, and from Monday till Friday's weigh-in, I would just allot myself with a box of Special K, because I knew that that 1 pound box made it impossible, if that was the only thing that I ate, to gain any more than 1 pound. And food has always been that simple to me, and it all came from wrestling. If you eat too much, you're going to gain weight, especially when it comes to the amount that you exercise. So present day, I just eat less because I don't do as much. And then another conversation conversation that I had with JR was going straight up CrossFit as far as the diet is concerned, because as many of you may know, and maybe some of you don't know, which is kind of messed up, it's not the training that's important, it's the diet. I've never done zone. And I don't know if I can really do zone. I don't know if I can bring myself to figuring that out because it's kind of finicky to me. But what I can bring myself to doing is eat meat, vegetables, fruit, nuts, and seeds, little starch, no sugar. I can do that for sure. This is a good parallel. I do eat all of those things, but I'll intentionally splurge on the every night ice cream bar. I can do away with that. I'll just have a bunch of grapes. That's all I've done when I'm here. As I've been here since Monday, today's Friday, all I've had is meat, fruit, and vegetables. That's it. I think I can do that. Will it change my physique for the better? It already has. It's probably just inflammation going down, because when you eat sugar, your body freaks out, and I especially blow up like a freaking water balloon. I don't know how many of my videos you've seen, but I got all this loose skin, like the flap from freaking, what's it called?
It looks like a tongue.
Click with Adam Sandler, you know the movie, he's got the flap.
Do that if you... Would you stop flapping that thing?
It's my flap. I'll do whatever the hell I want with it.
I can get so lean to the point where I'll go onto an in-body, or I'll take a DEXA scan. It'll tell me that I've got 5% body fat. Just like Jason Hopper, 5% body fat. But at the end of the day, my skin is super stupid thin. Where if I had to guess right now, I'm probably around 10 or 11. But the lack of inflammation from having improved the diet for just a week led to this freaking picture. And the nuts part is my leg. Giant vein through that thing. I've always tried to have the legs like dicks. It kind of stems from my time again as a wrestler. When I was a wrestler, I wanted to be as light as possible, and I convinced myself that not doing legs would make me lighter, but in all reality, I just had no want to make them bigger. I thought, the bigger my upper body, the more girls are gonna like me. But then I found out that if you have bigger, stronger legs, it's just a better overall physique and maybe even makes you lift more weight up top. I read those studies. But at a certain point in time, it became my life goal to make my legs as big as possible, and I really wanted to get veins in my legs. And now they're there, which brings me to another conversation that I had with JR. I was trying to go on a slack line. I couldn't stabilize the thing. I was wearing these super shorty shorts like I like to do. And he says, you just walk around with that much muscle mass in your leg? And I go, I didn't used to. I've always tried to get the legs like dicks, but it wasn't until I started doing the testosterone that they really blew up. And it's nuts because I used to squat 3-4 days a week. 2 of those days being high repetition, and then 2 of those days being for load, whether it be a heavy one or a moderately heavy one, but you get it. Lots of squatting, lots of lunging, lots of work in general. And I try to load them once a week with the squat, try to load them once a week with the lunge, I try to load them once a week with the hinge, so I can hit every dimension of the leg. And through that, they're bigger. Look at the freaking picture, they're freaking massive. It's nuts. So to put a bow on all of that, diet's never been great. And by not great, I mean I still just wouldn't eat garbage. I wouldn't eat pizza all the time, but while I would have pizza, it'd be once every week or two. Having been an extremely overweight child, I know that maybe the cause of that was having fast food way too much and eating that fast food to the point in which you felt like you were gonna die. That was my relationship with food then. Being full isn't necessarily a good thing. Probably actually makes it too hard for you to digest food. And what is it that you're full of? Because it's a very different full if you're to be full of meat and vegetables, nuts and seeds, little starch, no sugar. Eat an incredible amount of broccoli, you're gonna feel really full. But that's very different than eating a lot of pizza. Eat a lot of pizza, you got 2,000 calories of freaking crust, cheese, and fat sitting in your belly. And good luck digesting that. Good luck to your sleep, good night, good luck to your inflammation, good luck to the way that you're gonna live your life. If you wanna do that, but just make the choice. And don't justify your stuff. Don't justify having small legs like I did in high school. Put it in as simple terms as I need to lose 20 pounds this week, and while by no means do I recommend it, and it's totally unhealthy and no one should ever do it, but it made a lot of sense for me to eat the box of cereal because, hey, can't really gain more than a pound if all I eat is 1 pound of food this week. People make this so hard, but it's really easy. If it doesn't grow in the ground or have a face, you probably shouldn't be eating very much of it. It's another way of saying eat the perimeter of the grocery store. But I like the one where it's the eat a face or eat the ground, the idiot terminology. And I know I already tried to put a bow on this whole thing, but we're gonna put an even bigger bow on it. I don't know how much I weigh because I don't have access to the scale that I always use, but I weigh myself every single day. I'm pretty consistently about 50 15 to 20 pounds heavier than I had been when I started for sure, and then over the entirety of my career as a CrossFit athlete. I can't really apply my time as a wrestler because I was anywhere from 130 pounds in high school all the way up to 190 in college, where I just completely got rid of the I want to cut weight part of that career. But in general, I was about a 185, 190 pound person. Now I'm about a 200 to a 205 pound person, depending on what time of day it is, how much food I've got sitting in my belly, and if I've taken a poop or not. I hold way more muscle mass much more regularly without doing anywhere near as much training, and it was noticed by JR when I was standing on that slack line. The thing that I forgot to talk about is I went and I worked out at CrossFit Hype, which is in Boca Raton. It's maybe 45 minutes south of Jupiter. I worked out with my photography buddy Fury. And the owner of that gym's name is Rob Thomas. He's very cool. He actually builds just about everything that you put into there. And I think I have some footage of it, and I'll throw it in if I remember. 30 rowers in there and 20 echo bikes, and he's got it all. And I went in there and I wanted to make a video. We didn't make a video because he had some stuff to do. He's beating his head into the freaking dirt. We were gonna do a cribs version of his gym. Would have been cool. But we did a snatch complex. It was just 3 reps. And I haven't snatched in, I really feel like, 2 months. I've looked back at snatching in recent memory and I thought, how in the hell did I do 100 at 225? It may have taken 48 minutes or whatever. Well, we were doing just snatch triples and I pulled a 235 out of my butt. The one that Fury put up there was 185. He didn't get the heavy one, but the heavy one looked exactly the same as that one. And then it put the bug back in my head, which is if you can do that for 3 with 0 training over what feels like the past 2 months, 300 pounds is in the picture again. 31 years old. I listened to Froning talk on the Stefan podcast about his 306 pound snatch when he was in his mid-20s. And it made me really think that I only have so much time left until tendons, ligaments, bones, all of it just kind of don't have it anymore. I very much understand that this body that I sit in, although it is hormonally optimized, has a time limit. And if I'm gonna do it, I gotta do it soon. Don't wanna push it because that's just as dangerous as ever. And when I'm going under that barbell without remembering going anywhere near it in recent memory, it's kind of scary, especially considering how my elbow went through. But it's great. It's cool that it can happen that way. September's when I started. Oh, now 7 months into this thing. Feeling freaking great. Someone told me to get a tan while I was here and I think I got a little bit burnt. Do I look red? I feel like I look red. What does that look like? Yeah. So I take you guys' suggestions all the time. Someone wanted to know about the food that I eat. Some people wanted to know about how I felt, and now I'm making a video on a Sunday about it. Sitting in this freaking bed last day in Florida. That's it. Andrew Hiller, out. Yeah, I'm red.